Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today I wanted to talk about 4 crucial mistakes that you can avoid, a couple of which that are fixable, others that are permanent and you will have to live with for the rest of your account. As always, if you find this video helpful in any way, please like and subscribe. And let's jump in. Number 1 is going to be the barracks. Pay attention to how you're leveling up your barracks. Always have these laddered, especially when you get to headquarters 30. You're going to have a first one that can do tier 10 troops. So you're going to have a level 30. Mine's 33 because I have headquarters 33. But this one would be 30 for you. This one, minimum of 27. This one would be a minimum of 25. And then this one would be a minimum of 20. You can take it up to 23. This one you can take up to 29, and this one you can take up to 26. So you want to have these staggered for a couple different reasons. The first one is very, very important for versus day. When you're training troops, if you can stagger these and upgrade troops to the different tiers and collect tens of millions of points for training, say, 20,000 troops from tier 7 to tier 8, and then you repeat that step from tier 8 to tier 9, and then tier 9 to tier 10. So having 4 barracks, one with 7, one with 8, one with 9, and then one with 10, will allow you to maximize the points you can get on a versus day. And if you are a low level, all you have to do is shift all these numbers down accordingly to match with your headquarters level. So if you're only headquarters 24, for instance, you would have your tier 8 troops, tier 7, tier 6, tier 5, and so on. So that's going to help you tremendously on versus day. Even if you're lower level, you should be able to get all of your chest. That is all 7.2 million points all the way to the top here. That should be accomplished by anybody at any point in time in the game if you are working strategically through these things. I will say if you are pushing fast to headquarters 30 on a new account, that may be a little tricky at times, training troops and making sure you're hitting that point, but this is one of the most efficient ways to do it. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware. Second, why this is so important. When you are training troops, if you go into here, you will see level 6 troops, if I were to train these, is a lot cheaper, and I can train about 860 of these tier 6 troops on this one. And then if I come up to the top here, I can train about 1,030. Why is that so important? If you have just had a huge fight, say a war zone duel, and you have used all your troops, maybe you got a few thousand left, and your troop capacity is, I don't know, 25,000, 30,000, that's a lot of troops to train throughout the week. The fastest way to do that is to train level 6 troops on all your barracks. And then at the end of the week, you're going to have likely almost 2 times as many troops as if you were to sit there and try to train a bunch of level 9s. Because your level 9s are going to take you about a day and a half, depending on where your troop tech is. They could take you a day and a half to train. So you're only getting through so many of these every day, 2 days, where these level 6s, you should be able to continually train these every day, if not a little more frequently, so you can train twice as many troops compared to some of the other higher levels. And then all you do when you get to Friday, train them all the way through your ladder. It's going to save you a ton of time, and you're going to have tens of thousands of troops ready to go on versus day, battle day, or warzone duel day, whatever you have you're headed into. So make sure you have that planned out, know which ones you're leveling up, and don't level up the wrong one too far and then really screw this up for you. Okay, so next I wanted to throw in something here that is a little more easier to manage, maybe to navigate if you run into this issue. When it comes to shields and where to pick those up and everything, getting them out of the Alliance shop is probably the best bang for your buck. And that is why it's so important when you're heading into Friday and even on Thursday that you are aware of how many Alliance points you have, or Alliance contribution tokens you have here. And once you know you have, say, 20,000, make sure you save that because you're going to need 20,000 for a 20-hour shield or for two 12-hour shields. So don't burn them all. If you're looking in the shop here and you're like, oh, I got a bunch laying around, I can pick up some violets, I can, come down here and buy some different speed ups. Make sure you have enough for a shield if you don't have a shield in your inventory. Because what's going to happen, Friday at reset rolls around, and if you say, for instance, have not only your versus opponent, but then you have a Warzone duel, those opponents, if they're invading, they can come over early. And they're going to come over early and they're going to start burning bases. So if you don't have a shield ready to go at reset, you better go hide. So making sure you have the points available to pick up one of the shields, even if it's, say a 12-hour shield for now, and then you're going to get the extra 10,000 in the morning, that's fine. But just be aware of that. Don't go into Friday night and then realize, oh shoot, I only have 4,000 alliance points. I don't have the diamonds to gem through the alliance tech to get the points I need, and really be in a situation. So just be mindful of that when you're headed in. It's an easy fix, but one that you should try to avoid. All right, number 3, it's kind of a two-parter. First of all, when you are working on your tech and you're pushing headquarters 30, trying to get tier 10 troops, trying not to waste a bunch of resources is crucial. So coming into the development tree, picking up the basic items like increased research speed, construction, all that stuff through here is very important. Don't worry about picking up the troop training and hospital and all that stuff. Don't worry about that too much until later on when your headquarters is probably closer to 30. Then that stuff you could work on and be a little bit cheaper and faster for you to do. And then same thing with the hero and unit techs. Don't go crazy on those because those get really expensive and take up a lot of time. One thing you want to do if you have the monthly pass is come into your Garage 4 and max this out, because this is going to be so much cheaper and so much faster than your Garage 1. Put your best team in Garage 4, max that out, and you're ready to roll. Save you a bunch of resources, save you a bunch of time, and then you can level up your Garage 1 later. And then last, when we're talking about special forces and getting your tier 10 troops, you do not need to max this out. You don't need to max it out until you get your tier 10 troops, and then you can come back in and max everything out. Just do the minimum through all these trees here to get to the bottom, and then max out these last 4 here, and that will allow you to unlock the tier 10 troop tech. Once you finish that, you'll obviously have to come back into here to get these up to unlock the mastery techs. But you should unlock the siege and the defense fortifications. But don't worry about those until you finish your tier 10. And then you can go in and start working on some of this stuff. Unlock your fort drill grounds and then coming into here and picking up your extra hospital. And I say this because I've known a lot of players that thought they had to max this out. They wasted hundreds of millions of resources and possibly a lot of speed ups. And then when they got down to here, they just struggled through this part because they had burnt so many resources trying to max out so much of the stuff at the top. Around 60% is what you need to get to the bottom and max this out. So if you're already sitting here at 50 to 55% and you're not even at the bottom here, that means you've probably done way too much. But again, it all depends on if you're trying to push really fast or not and try to be economical. So just be mindful of that. All right, and the last thing today I wanted to cover was decorations. And a lot of players, you get excited, you get a legendary decoration, and you think it's the greatest thing ever. However, there is a big difference between the general free legendary ones that you can get out of the legendary boxes and the holiday decorations. And the difference being is you're going to have fixed stats and the special stats with the holiday decorations. So for instance, on the Christmas tree here, I have crit damage. You're going to have ones with skill damage and damage reduction. All those things are significantly better than the fixed stats that you get from a lot of the other decoration items. Okay, so why am I pointing that out? Well, if you're early on in the game and you get decoration components and you get your first legendary decoration and you're thinking to yourself, man, I really need to max this thing out so I can get a little bit of HP, a little bit of defense, don't. Just wait. You're going to casually get those boxes over time through Desert Storm and various events. There's so many different ways to get legendary boxes and level those up that it becomes almost a waste to use your decoration components on those. So just be patient with legendaries and purples aside from holiday ones. The holiday ones you can only get from holiday selection chest or upgrading your decoration using your decoration components. And you're going to have to get your holiday decorations up to level 3 to get these bonuses. So it's going to take time. You're going to need to be patient. And that is why it's so crucial to save all of your decoration components for these decoration items. Like I said, everything else you're going to get over time. These you won't. Very, very limited, and the decoration components are the best way to level these up. For instance, I have never used a decoration component on the Golden Missile vehicle here, and it's already level 3. I have 10 out of 18 to take this thing to level 4, and I am not going to put any decoration components in this to purchase any more of these decoration items, because it's just going to casually come to me over time, while it may not come to me really fast like I would want. But I don't get a huge benefit from getting this to level 4 like I would if I were to just wait and save up a few more of my decoration items. I need 150 more, and I can take this up to level 3. And that's going to give me so many more stats than the other one would. And lastly, if you do have holiday decoration items and you have quite a few of them, don't level them up past 3. Get them up to level 3 and stop there, because the amount that you need to take them from 3 to 4 is 18. So 3 times the amount, but you're only going from 1.5 to 2% crit damage, for instance. And if you can go and get another decoration item from 2 to 3 for a third of the price and get 1.5, that's such a better deal for your components. So just make sure you are doing that when you're upgrading your decoration items. All right, and the last little bonus thing here. When you are starting the season, always pick engineer. I don't care how strong you are, start with engineer, because you get the cost reduction on all the speed up stuff that will help you get through your buildings, your season buildings, a lot faster. So it is such a benefit to start off as engineer to get your season buildings upgraded as fast as you can and get your resistance up and be able to push for dig sites and things like that faster than others would. If you go into War Leader, you're not going to have all the benefits of increasing your speed, reducing the cost of buildings. And on top of that, you do have this skill right here, Siege Mastery, that allows you to do increased damage durability damage to cities. So you can quickly capture cities and do twice as much defense damage, essentially. And another thing that people don't think about is the extra meal. So when you are farming the Doom Elites and trying to push the Doom Elites and hitting city buildings and taking over dig sites, you're going to burn a ton of stamina during the season. So having 50% more extra stamina that you get every day, so instead of 100, you're going to have 150. That goes a long way over time. I will mention, though, the cost reduction for building and tech is not until level 35. So you may not get there until much later in Season 1 to get those other benefits. But if you're headed into Season 2 or Season 3, you should have these already. So highly recommend you have those ready to go. Get building in Season 3, and then you can switch to War Leader on. Season 1, you can switch to War Leader a little bit later after you've had this on for a while, taken some cities. Like I said, it'll help you quickly capture those. And you're not going to have much in the War Leader tree here that you're going to see that's going to give you a ton of increased damage outside of the craze and maybe the Badland March speed, and then the morale and the Inspire increase morale by 10%. Well, that is it for today. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys have a good one.